Hello, YouTube. I was really called, kind of prompted by people out there who are screaming for proof about certain things going on. And, I'm to the point now where honestly, my own gut instinct, my own gut instinct, my own intuition is all the proof I need. And if that's not enough for you, then you are not, if your own is not enough for you, then you're not awakening. You're not on this journey. You're not quite there yet. I mean, I don't want to say you're not on this journey. There are people out there saying everybody's coming along. And I do agree with that, except that I personally think that, it's like 100-year process. And a lot of people who are still here are not going to be coming along in the present incarnations that they're in. And so, well, this is Wendy, by the way. Parenting through Ascension, which this is going to be kind of a different, just realized I might have done it on this channel. Oh, well, it's not a big deal. So what I wanted to tune into specifically was the rumors going around that children are being rescued from underground bases that have been used, many from birth, for torture. Not a happy topic, but you know what? I'm really able to separate my emotions from the situation so that I can tune in. And when I tuned in, initially, you think, okay, I'm going to tune in and see if this is even happening for real. And I'll be honest with you, immediately it was like, that is not in question. This is happening. This is happening. There have been a lot of people putting information out there about it. No, there's no proof, whatever you want to see as proof. I'm not sure what you want. Even video can be, you post videos and people cry fake. So I'm not sure what you're looking for, but when I tuned into this situation and was about to ask, is this even happening? It became very clear that that was not even necessary to ask. This is happening. The children there are children. We know this. We know this. There are children who not only have they been used as sex slaves and in satanic cult rituals their entire lives, but many of them were then bred to produce more victims. And so some, not all of them, were born in captivity. Oh, yikes. That's big, huh? Not all of them were born in that situation, but for years, because they do abduct people too. And so I wanted to tune in. I want to see the rescue mission. That's what I want to see. I want to see the beautiful culmination of all of this love and light we've been spreading has been to shed light on this darkness. And what could possibly be darker than torturing children, breeding children, really, to have children in order for them to be tortured. The rumors right now, and of course, I would separate, like people say, oh, you got to separate from what you've seen on, from what you think you already know. Well, here's the thing. When I see people posting stuff about it, it either resonates or it doesn't. If it doesn't resonate, I don't even remember it in order to repeat it. And so if it resonated, if my instinct, my intuition, my higher self, my connection, my psychic abilities went, yes, that's happening, then I'm going to bring it up, whether I intuited it myself or heard it elsewhere. And I just do not get people who are like, I don't listen to anybody else. This is all for my own intuition. Why not? This is all about connection and community and unity. And hello, we have to start listening to each other and knowing if it resonates or not. And just trusting that. I did get out a deck. I don't know whether or not it's going to help any, but I am already, I did my whole grounding, connecting uh, ritual, and I'm already feeling like there's a heaviness. The First of all, this is happening. There absolutely is a MASH type, well, not type, a MASH, a mobile, what is it, mobile something hospital. Um, there is a MASH facility set up in Central Park. I mean, the park is closed, or if it's not, that section is closed for sure. But I'm telling you, if I was in New York and I was allowed, I could walk you right to it. I could walk you right to it. I can see where it is. There is just one. Yeah, they considered, this is all, again, this is all my intuition, because I don't listen to anybody else because I'm an idiot. Um, I pay attention and I take what resonates and I go from there. Because I didn't have an awareness of this at all until people started talking about it. And so they considered setting up 3 or 4, but the concern was communication, being able to communicate, and having being found out. And so rather than having 3 or 4 smaller ones, they've decided to do one large one all in the same area. I see what's happening is they're being bussed in. They're being bussed in by the busfuls. I mean, by the bus loads. Um, and there aren't, first of all, they way underestimated how many, and they are having to bring in more and more people to help with this. Realizing that not only do they need people, you can't just herd kids, right, that have never seen the light of day, have never known a comforting, loving touch, who many of them are deformed and can't walk. Many of them are too young to walk. You can't just herd all these kids. There have to be, vehicles, facilities, people to carry children, and they severely underestimated what they were going to need for that kind of thing. But they're getting there. They're bringing people in. There are also, and again, these things are shielded from prying eyes, but there are high density beings there with their technology, their healing technology. They're doing everything they can. Many of these children just, like, their souls never fully came in, if that makes sense. Their souls never fully, because they weren't allowed to, because they were born right into abuse and torture and mutilation and pain and fear. And the soul could not come in. And so for many of them, their souls really are checked out. And so there is really only making the physical body comfortable as they transition. And that's going to be a lot of them. I just heard 30%. That might be, like, I tried to say 20 and then I heard 30. That could be true. 30% of them are just not going to survive this past the MASH facility. So then there's also the matter of getting the bodies. Like, what are they doing with all the bodies? Like I said, I feel like they severely underestimated what they were going to find. They knew what was down there, but I think well, first of all, I just got this message, and it's so true. I'm sorry. I'm not man bashing, I swear, but because the operation was largely not just men in charge, but women who are not mothers, they just didn't think about these things. So what I feel like is missing, and there is a big chunk missing, like, they've got all this great technology for the physical body. They don't have, okay, I feel like they've got a few, maybe. Okay. They just don't know. Okay. So they've got a few, and by a few, I mean percentage wise, there aren't enough of them, but there's probably a dozen or so Nurses, I feel like there's nurses who are also Reiki energy healers, not necessarily Reiki, but any kind of energy healing, that I believe answered the call so that they could use their energy healing. But there was no call or recruitment of energy healers specifically. And I feel like that's a huge missing piece of the puzzle. That, and they have it on, it's part of their action plan down the line. That great after 30% are dead, which for the most part, that is not preventable. Those kids need to be put out of their misery, really, a lot of them. So we need to allow that to happen. Um, but yeah, I just feel like it. I'm totally getting that they did not, and I get it. It's crowded. There's lots of people. They don't want. It's, we're professionals, Reiki masters. We're not. I don't know what they think we would do, but we would be in the way. That's the big message that I'm getting. They're just in the way. So they've got a few who are kind of doing it without, like, under the radar. There are a few nurses who are trained in energy healing and are doing, or you know what, there are a lot of the nurses who've answered the call and are there, and this is male and female. They may have children or grandchildren, and they're just being kind of called. They're not energy healers, but per se, not trained, but they're being called to really be in a place of love and compassion versus fear and horror, at the sight of these kids. And so they are helping in that respect, uh, where they can, whatever patients they're working on, they are in that space. And so they are helping. They're helping with the energy because of their ability to be in their heart and not in their head where they're constantly thinking. And a lot of these doctors, God love them, they'll never be the same after this experience. But a lot of these doctors are just in fear because many of them, 70-80% of them, had no idea that any of this was going on, and they answered this call because of their expertise, not just pediatrics, but yeah, like intense specialties, answered the call, not really knowing what they were answering, but they're all meant to be there. But they will never be the same. Many of them are going to need a lot of healing themselves. And again, that's, more people more energy healers should be there. More woo-woo people should be there. Um, and I keep thinking too, if anything comes through any pipeline, I don't even know where it would come through, but if there is any kind of recruitment or call, I mean, I would pack and drive, because I am really being called to be part of this. And I realize that it's probably going to be down the line. I feel like it needs to be. We should be there right away. We should even be down when they're pulling these kids out from wherever they've been existing. Energy healers need to be down in that space. They need to be healing that space as the kids are being. I mean, this is my feeling. If you don't agree, screw you, whatever. I don't care. I don't care if you agree or not. This is my deep feeling. And because I'm feeling so called to be a part of this, and I'm so removed, like, I don't know, I do believe it's happening elsewhere, not just Central Park, because that wouldn't make sense. Like, I know for a fact we have underground facilities in Colorado. There's no reason, they're not busing kids, mutilated and dying children, from Denver to New York. That just wouldn't make any sense. And so I'm just wondering, okay, I did just get that there is that, like, they do have a teleportation system down there in these tunnels, in some of these tunnels. So it is possible that they're okay. But I mean, we're talking about hundreds, possibly a couple thousand. Is there more than that? They don't even know yet. They don't even know. They're down in there pulling these kids out and thinking with their logical brains. And I just feel like this needed more empathic oversight. So, but what I am seeing, everyone involved is doing everything they can, um, amidst the, it's a combat zone, it's a war zone, and most of us have never been in that situation. I was in the military for 10 years, and I was never put in that situation, because wars are different now, right? But this is like a, Korean War, Vietnam War. It's worse because it's all children, it's all kids. And I do believe that no, none of them are over 17. So yeah, some of the breeders are, yeah. Okay. So, I mean, they start breeding them as soon as they start bleeding. So to make more. So, I feel like they're rescuing like 12-year-olds who are pregnant and that kind of thing. Um, pregnant very possibly with already deformed children because the DNA is so fucked up at this point. So, just be ready. Be ready to. This is not going to come out all at once. This is going to be a process where we all find out what's going on. But what I am seeing is, I'm seeing tents, and it's not like MASH, like the show MASH, right? These are more. I mean, we've come slightly far in our technology, but what is there is, it's very Star Trekky. It's very high tech. It's technology we've never seen. I see like orbs floating around, mechanical, not just light, but these are technology, and they are not only surveilling the area. There are actually some that are there programmed to make sure everyone there is supposed to be there. If anybody tries to sneak in, reporters or whatever, they are quickly escorted out. And so there are literally like AI machines, and not AI in the way we think of it. It's more AI as in connected intuitively to a real living being. These machines don't have their own intelligence, but they operate based on the intuitive instructions from their programmers, their masters, I guess, if you want to say that. These machines are not sentient. Okay, if that helps explain it a little bit. And so I see them. I mean, there's a lot hovering. There are beings that have these things in their pockets, right? That are being pulled out, and they can only, even that advanced technology can only do so much. Like I said, without a soul, the body, there's no reason to be here. And so they're doing what they can. They will save hundreds of kids. They're going to save hundreds. I keep getting like right around 1,000. I feel like it's going to be a lot more than that. Maybe this is just the first, the first level, the first, the first, what's the word I'm looking for? The first level, the first, oh, I can't come up with the word, but you know what I mean. This could be the first wave of this type of rescue mission. So, I mean, I'm not, yeah, I've got a guide here who's helping me tune in, and he right away was saying, "You don't want to see the children." And I said, "I do. I'm okay with it. I want to see." And he said, "Well, they don't, yeah, it's not something that needs to be broadcast at this point. There are already rumors that they're mutilated, that their genitalia are mutilated, that they're deformed. Many of them can't speak because they were never taught to speak. They're literally, they were created to be sex toys and parts of satanic rituals, and that is awful. That is absolutely, that's the most awful thing I could think of to do to a child, much less hundreds, possibly thousands, and then to breed the children to create more is just, I mean, how dark. I can't think of anything darker. So the light has been shed on this darkness. It's happening. Like I wanted to tune in and go, okay, just tell me if it's happening or not. And all my guides were like, it's happening. it's happening. Just tune into what's going on. And so obviously I'm not being allowed, like they're on to me. They know, and I'm not the only one, right? I know a lot of us has probably tried to tune into this. They don't really want us to see a whole lot. And that is for a reason, and I get that. My thing is I want to be there. You know, I'm not for something to put on my resume, but because I feel like we all should be there. But I feel like I should be there. I feel like, and of course, quarantine isn't helping, right? Like I'm antsy. I'm depressed. I leave my house. We go to the store. I take walks. I get my sunshine. I eat right. I'm not one of those people. I don't drink, so I'm not one of those people who's drowning my quarantine symptoms in alcohol. And I don't screw with my diet. So because my physical body won't let me right now. So I'm like my life hasn't changed much, honestly, except that when I think of things like, oh, we should go to a movie. No, we can't do that. But yeah, so quarantine, is like even my 13-year-old said today, he said, I just am really depressed. I was like, I know, honey. I know. And we did the mass meditation together, the whole family, which was really cool. Um, we're trying to keep their schedule the same for the most part. We already homeschool our younger two, so just keeping them on it. And I largely unschool. We don't teach the lies. We don't teach the lies that is history and science and all of that kind of garbage. And so we don't. It doesn't take them long, but it. They're starting to feel it. Like, oh, we can't. They can't even go to the store with us because we don't want any judgment there. And that's not a rule to not take kids with, but it's definitely a recommendation at this time, and we're following all the recommendations because why not? It's silly not to. I'm not going to take a chip, and I'm not worried about any new fangled bioengineered weapon virus. But I don't want to catch the fear, and so I wear an energetic mask to protect me from the fear, the ridiculous, ridiculous fear that, if they really knew, why is this not the way it is every flu season, which is now, 6 months out of the year, apparently. So anyway, babbling, and I got off track. I am going to try and pull a card, I think. You want me to pull a card? I'm just on around this situation. So this is the Angels of Atlantis Oracle cards, and I just want to pull one card. I'm hearing two, so I might get two cards, but just give me a card around this situation with the children. Like what? And I know, I asked, what can I do? And I've been told, and if you're a light worker and you really want to do something about this situation too, meditate and focus on just sending love to these children and the people working on them. And that can be done in 10 seconds, right? You can do that. If you're already meditating, just just set an intention, ask your guides, connect to source and say, please send so much love and compassion. And I even the other day I said, I want all of these children, even if they're being like worked on or whatever on a cold table right now, because they can't, do what they need to do and have somebody like cradling them, right? Even these little ones. And so I sent the energy of just help them to feel like they're being held, like they're warm in loving arms, because I'm sure none of them have felt that ever. So, and who knows, it may be so foreign to them. And then I was like, oh, that might be so foreign to them that it freaks them out. But energetically, yeah, I sent it energetically, and because I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. I can't go. Okay, that's a lot of cards. Let's do it. Let's see what this one. Ha, Michael. Damn you, Michael. Michael likes to remind me. This is for me, but it might be for you too. Michael comes to me in so many ways, even in a human way now. Okay. Oh, sorry. I just showered and it's crazy. I want another one, Michael. I get it. Patience. I did a whole video on patience. If you want to go back and find it, probably a year ago now. But patience is a myth. Patience is an illusion. All patience is distracting yourself so that you don't think about what you're waiting for. There is no such thing as true patience. Not in our current incarnations, anyway. There's no such thing. Okay. Earth Force. See, I feel like, okay, so Raphael, first of all, Raphael is literally the archangel for healing, for physical healing. So that's a good one. Another one? Yeah, I mean, these are both, okay. Ay. Okay. Okay, that was Michael again. Michael came twice. And so Raphael is literally so he's there. So this is telling me he's there. Earth Force, he's there. There's no way he's not there. He is healing. Like, there are kids in there. Who was it? Rion and Alexander. If you don't know them, look up Unite the Collective on YouTube. They're beautiful, beautiful young men. They talked about, oh no, I totally lost my train of thought. Big stuff. Earth Force. I was just going to say something about Raphael and Earth Force. We can together send this energy, through Gaia. If you're a light worker, no, I can't. No, sorry. I guess I just had to mention Rion and Alexander. If you're a light worker, then send this love through Gaia and have it go through Gaia to where these children are. That would be a good idea. It might come, it might not. I don't know. Gabriel, of course, is a beautiful angel. Inspiration. I mean, that's the planet, right? So it's being like, love is being sent. It's not all on us. It's not all on us. There are a lot of these children. Oh, that's what I was going to say. These children. That's what Rion was saying. These children that are being saved. If you want to see a wave, a force of light worker magic, give them a couple decades. Give them a decade or so to really come into their own once they realize that once they heal this life they've had thus far. I mean, they're going to be the most amazing light workers ever. Us first wavers, we like to think we're badass, and we are, but these kids, holy shit. Like, they have been through more than anyone has ever been asked to go through. And any child who has gone through from birth being a prisoner and a slave and a torture, an object of torture. So so it's being like Raphael, Gabriel, Jophael, all these. Okay, so this is a big one. Forgiveness. So one thing we can do as a light worker collective, and even if you don't feel like you're a light worker but you want to do something, we have to send forgiveness to the people who perpetrated these awful things on these beautiful souls. I know that sounds impossible, but we have to. We have to forgive them, or these kids don't have a chance. Because I guarantee you, the kids will probably forgive them quicker than we can. But if we can start working on that now, because they're magical souls, these kids who can bring their souls back in, who maybe they haven't checked out completely, they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with. Darkness will run screaming from these kids when they're older, and possibly not even very long from now, because there are teenagers in there. There are teenagers in there who have never seen the sun. There are 10-year-olds in there who don't know how to speak. So, this is going to be, and this is, like I said, you want proof? Fuck you. This is my intuition. This is me tuning in. I have an amazing guide who's helping me tune into this. And I can see it. Like I said, I can see it. I see it with all their lights and the tents and the high tech. And there's even, like, they're tall. I think the Anshar have a presence there. They are not necessarily visible to, like, people who don't know about them already. But they are walking around shielded, doing what they can. With their intuitive technology. They're bringing a lot of it. They live in the honeycomb center of the earth. They're down in the honeycomb earth. They've been down there a lot longer than we have, y'all. Um, so they brought their technology up. There are beings who have been in ships in orbit who have brought technology down. We had a lot of it already on the planet, on the surface. It just needed to be taken there. It's a lot of it's never been really used outside of testing it, outside of experimentation, because it was so new to us. But this, I feel like this forgiveness thing is big. If you want to do something to help these kids, then start putting out into the collective energy that we forgive all of these dark beings who did not know better, who did not remember that they're light. They don't remember that they're source. They don't remember that they're everything is source. They don't remember connection. They don't know what that feels like. They only know what they've been doing for generations. Who knows how long this has been going on. I do feel like this is probably the first wave of rescue missions. So maybe I'll be able to be part of it. Maybe a lot of us will be able to be part of ones in the future. Like I said, I'm in Colorado. I feel like there have got to be facilities underground here somewhere. And so, take from this what you will. There's just no way this is not happening because the energy is so strong around it. Um, I just feel like they underestimated what they were going to find. It's going to take longer than they thought. It's taking more people than they thought. I just wish that the whoever is coordinating this, and I feel like somebody brought it up several times. Hey, maybe we could bring in some light workers, and they were probably laughed at. And so, oh, these kids need medical attention. These kids need everything attention, and they should have had for me especially, and I'm sure there are others like me. I know there are others like me. My healing energy is very maternal, and so this kind of thing is exactly what I'm here for. And all I can do is from a distance. And I get it. I can do a lot from here. I can do a lot from here. And so I'm going to. I'm going to continue doing what I can from my own private space, from my energy. And so I don't know. I guess we could do that right now. If anybody wants to join me, I'm just going to tune in. I'm already there. Like I'm there. I have a guide if you want to know. It's actually a reptilian guide who I'm very familiar with. And he came in when I was tuning in. He came in and he said, "I can help you with this." And I said, "Cool." And he said, "You don't want to see. You don't want to see." And I said, "Yes, I do. Show me what you can." That's what I said. Show me what I'm allowed to see that's in everybody's highest good. I'm not seeing any specific. Okay, there are a lot of deformities. There are a lot of deformities. These kids are not human right now. They don't know what human means. Many of them are reacting like wild animals, you know, and many of them are just completely numb because they're so used to abuse. They don't know what's happening. Many of them will not understand that they're being rescued because they didn't know that there was anything else that existed. They didn't know that there was another life that they could be rescued into, if that makes sense. So it's going to be a long road. It's going to be a long road. But like I said, they came in, they chose this on a soul level, they chose this journey for whatever reason. I got to believe that even the ones that their souls couldn't handle, the body kind of ejected the soul because there was so much trauma. Even that is giving them amazing soul growth. Like that is going to be huge. Even the ones that don't survive, they're going to experience huge soul growth from that. And they're going to be able to go wherever they want. They don't have to come back on Earth, even though we're coming into this new energetic age of Aquarius. They don't have to come back in and live here. They can go elsewhere. I don't know if you've heard this before, but Earth is the hardest place to incarnate. And I think even will continue to be for about 100 years yet, because we're going to be in this transition. And even as and the degree to which it's going to improve in the next even year and 2 years, it's still going to be the hardest place to incarnate. It's just hard. It's hard to be here. And so, yeah, so I'm already there, and I'm just going to, join me in. We're just going to create this bubble, and I feel like it needs to be pink pink and green. We're going to create this energy bubble around this entire camp, around these buses, around this space where they're being pulled out of, these spaces where they have existed from birth, many of them. Okay, I am getting like 99% of them were born into this captivity, which is because it's been going on so long that many of the original ones who were maybe abducted from the streets or whatever, have long passed. But so let's just everybody hold hands. And we're just going to create this pink. Pink is huge healing heart energy, right? It's love, it's unconditional love, and they need that so much right now. And green from the heart. So we're going to mix those two, and we're just going to surround all of these places. Anything to do with these children being rescued, I just want to surround these places with this protective bubble that will support these rescuers and just keep them in hyper focus of saving these kids, doing whatever they can and saving these kids. And we're just going to fill those bubbles with this pink and green energy that's going to not just infuse the kids, but infuse all the workers so that they know that they're supported, they know that they are loved and cherished, and they know that they are doing something so wonderful for not just each individual child they help, but for the planet, because this is going to raise our vibration like nothing else, because it's going to unite us. Once all this comes out, that this is actually real, it's going to unite us like nothing else. You think 9/11 united us. Just you wait. When we find out, because what was the worst part of 9/11, right? The children. What was the worst part of the Oklahoma City bombing? The children. Like, yes, all the deaths, awful and terrible, and people lost people. But you think about the children, and it just it's like driving that knife a little deeper into the heart, right? When you think of innocent children being sacrificed in this way. And that's exactly what these kids are being pulled from now. It's over. It's over. Their torture is over physically. So we want to fill all of these spaces that are a part of this with this pink and green, just unconditional mother love, so that each of these children feels, so that they know, give them a knowing, at least on some level, that they're being helped for the first time, that they're being cared for in a gentle way for the first time, that they will no longer be, victims, that they will no longer be tortured. Just to begin that healing journey. I know that we can't remove it all in one fell swoop, because that's their journey. But if everybody could just lend their, visualize that with me, whatever, it doesn't have to be pink and green for you, whatever it is, add yours to this visualization, and we're just going to close it up. And I just see so much, like, if you can see that, I see so much loving energy and white light coming from above, coming from the heavens, coming from even technology is being beamed down in some way. Yeah, I wonder if I feel like it's also helping, like, anxiety level, kind of fear level of the workers, of the rescuers, of the doctors, the nurses, the military, everyone involved. There is technology being beamed from a ship in orbit that is kind of easing all of that, so that they can focus and do what they're there to do. That's going to be great technology. That is part of the technology that will heal anxiety and depression, and that kind of, when our fight or flight or freeze reaction, that part of our brain is broken. And for so many of us, it is. So that's part of the technology that will heal that. And no kidding, like 10 minutes in a chamber and you'll be healed. That's the technology that they're going to be revealing very soon. So I'm just visualizing this pink and green energy is just filling these bubbles, and just, on some level, some of these children, as they're being pulled out of these dark places, some of them actually do realize what's happening. And that may be more terrifying than anything they've gone through thus far, right? At least they knew what to expect in the life they had. Now they have no idea. They have no idea. So we're just going to fill those spaces with loving, healing heart energy. And I'm just going to seal them up with the choker rays. Okay. So I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't. I can more feel what's happening than see visually. All I know is, my guide is really kind of keeping me from seeing the worst of it, and I have to be okay with that. Um, that's okay. Yeah, our guides are very protective of us in many ways, and sometimes we have to let that happen. So I don't know. I didn't expect to babble on this long, but I just think it's funny that I just said Babylon. I don't know why that's funny. Something about the money system falling. Bye bye. Bye bye, Babylon. Prison money system. Anywho, so if trust your own intuition, tune into this. Tune into this situation going on. It is freaking happening. I just, I refuse to believe otherwise. And we're not jumping to a timeline where it's not happening. Unfortunately, but also fortunately, this is such a beautiful thing. That this has been stopped. And so just focus on that. Send love. Don't fall into fear. Do your own inner work. And just know that this is all in the highest good of humanity, everything that's going on. And don't fall into the whole trap of where's your proof? Tune into it yourself. Where our psychic abilities are through the roof right now. Okay. I have found too, I don't even need to really go through my whole, oh, I used to have this process where I had to, take a couple deep breaths and then I have to do this whole visualization of connecting to Gaia and connecting to source. And now I started and my guides are like, you're there, get going. What are you waiting for? Like we're tuned in. We're never not. So just send the love, send as much as you can. If you are part of this and magically seeing this video, God bless you. Contact me because I want to be part of this. I am a Reiki master, I'm an energy healer. I also I do essential oils, which I think could be very beneficial. But the energy healing I think is huge. And the maternal, these kids need the maternal, the one thing that they never had, from the beginning was the maternal love. So that's my take on this sitch. Take from it what you will. Again, I don't give a shit if you agree with me or not. I just could not care less. I just wanted to get my take out there because I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in people who are professing to be woke and then not believing anything without concrete proof. That's what our intuition is for. That's what we're coming into. We can no longer believe anything on the news. We can't take any of it at face value. And so we have to work on developing our intuition and tuning in to the cosmic knowledge, that just the everything, tuning into the everything, the reservoir where everything exists and all the information is there. So do it for yourself. I love you guys.